Okay, good evening. My name is Nick Fiore, and this is for ISM 3011. This is Tableau Project 2, and this is going over the sales figures for a outdoor sporting equipment company. We've been using Tableau. This is our second project with it, and I think Tableau is a great software to use when trying to visualize your sales figures a little bit better, because I think when you use something like Excel to visualize your sales figures, it doesn't work out as well because it's just a bunch of lines and sales figures and numbers, and that just doesn't serve out well to people trying to really visualize the information, and it just doesn't come out as good. So using Tableau is very helpful to visualize your information better, whether it be through a map or a graph or a better, more organized or popping chart. And it just works a lot better for when you're presenting information instead of just displaying it to a single person. So we'll start off here with going to the profits per city. I think this is a great visualization of a map to show obviously the sales throughout the United States and to show where they're selling their products well in and where they need to improve upon. So as you can see here, New York City is doing very well with their sales, as well as Los Angeles, Seattle, and Chicago. In my personal opinion, I think they could do better in places like Miami, also here in Tampa. These are places that have a lot of outdoor and water aquatic type environments, and they should definitely be trying to increase their sales figures here. So I think using a map has been a good visualization to actually help display that information instead of just showing it in some sort of chart, because here with a map, the image is right there and you can really see where you're selling and where you're not. So here you can obviously see we have the city, and then we also have the profits. So yeah, I just think that's a great visualization to really show where you're selling your product. So next we have profits per product. As you can see here, we have it organized not only by the year in which you're selling the product, so we have 2018 and 2019, but then we also have it separated through the rows by the item and then also the department in which the item is sold in. So I think this is a great sales figure for not only people really trying to look at the numbers of something, but also people that just want an easy visualization of this, because as you can see here, the data is organized in a bar graph with the information starting with the smallest and then ending with the largest. Obviously, it doesn't reflect in 2019 as well, because 2019 had a couple different sales figures. As you can see here, fishing with Princecraft did a little bit better ratio-wise than it did the previous year, as well as right here with jet boats with Chaparral. However, I don't think this chart does a great job at really visualizing that these numbers here are actually lower than these numbers here, and they really need to improve their sales figures because they actually went down in year 2019. So as you can see, they actually did lose the amount of profit they made in 2019, and that is something that they should be concerned about and working to improve upon in the following years. So next we're going to go to sales per item. This is a very easy visualization. This is just showing the sales per item. It doesn't separate it by department or year. It's just showing which products are doing well and which ones they should improve upon. So I stated earlier in my Word document that Bertram and Monaro are really not doing too well sales-wise compared to other products like Nitro and Princecraft. So this is something that they should really be focusing on and considering if these products are even worth it to still have them in their market, and then maybe try to push some of these other figures up here to get just a little bit higher to kind of level out their bar and make it look a little bit more appealing, and have the way they're making money a little bit more diversified, because when you have most of your sales coming from one item, there's a potential that maybe that item doesn't do well in a certain year, and that can really hurt your sales. So diversifying where you get your money from is very important, and I think this is a good visualization to show that and bring some concern to the table about that. So next we're going to go to the sales and state. This is obviously something that wouldn't be great to display in a presentation and put on a storyboard, because as you can see as I'm scrolling down, this is a very long list which shows the sales in state, and then it's also separated by the city. So as you can see, we've got all of the cities listed in the state of Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, and so on. And then it also is separated by the year in which the sales were made. As you can see, some of the information wasn't listed in specific years, so you'll just have to go off of the information listed at that specific time. So I think this was really good to show, to somebody who was maybe trying to audit the work, or really get a good idea of the sales numbers exactly per city, instead of somebody that was just trying to get a broad spectrum of it, or just a very general view of how their sales are doing. This gives you that much better and more detailed view, while not being as appealing to look at as, let's say, the map. So once again, this would be a lot better for somebody who really wants to get into the numbers, not so much somebody who wants to look at the visualizations. Next we have the dashboard, which is the profit per product. I think this is just the best visualization for everybody, because it shows it all. I mean, it shows a good visualization of which products are selling well with the bar graph, and it's very easy to see because it is in that sort of hierarchy from low to high. And then also it shows the sales figures to the right of the bar. So lastly, we have the we have the story here, and I think this is just, as I said, the easiest thing to look at. It's just super easy to understand where your sales figures are coming from. You really can't get confused with this, because obviously the bigger circles mean you're doing much better in this area than you are with the areas in the smaller circles, and it really lets you decide if you should be focusing more in a certain area or not. So as I said, I think Tableau's been a really good software to use for presentations, and presenting information in statistical values, which really can be fairly difficult to present just as the numbers, and this just does a lot better job at allowing just the average person to view this information. And yeah, hope you have a good day.